Cool. All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to the first video on my channel, Joe Mama Talks. I want to make this channel kind of like a channel where I talk about life in general, um, a channel where I talk about athletic ventures, things that you know, that I've noticed as an athlete, um, and things that have like helped me improve in life, improve as a man, improve, academically, things in that nature. So today we're going to be talking about things that have helped me as an athlete, things that have improved my performance, things that have hindered my performance, and things that have kind of had me stay the same. So first off, before we get into it, just so you know, I'm able to kind of have a conversation about this and be in this conversation and recommend things or not recommend things. Some of my accolades. So I am a combat sports athlete. I started training jiu-jitsu when I was 9 years old. Um, Trained jiu-jitsu from 9 to 14. Competed in a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments. Won a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments. From high school, so about 14, almost 15 to 18. I wrestled in high school, and I was a three-time district champ. I was a two-time regional placer and a one-time state placer. Going on from that, I had a full ride scholarship to college for wrestling. After I got injured actually in college, I dropped out, came back to my combat sports gym, and started training for MMA. And I went 6-1 as an amateur MMA fighter. I won the title. I was the number one ranked amateur in Texas and the U.S. Southwest region. And at the moment, I am a 4-0 professional MMA fighter. So, now that we've kind of got that out of the way, I don't want to sound like a douchebag. Yeah, let's get into it. So things that have helped me. So in this section where I'm gonna just be talking about some kind of broad things, maybe some niche things, things that you don't really hear a lot, or things that you hear all the time that kind of need to be mentioned again. Um, so first off, starting off, biggest thing that I think has helped me as of late has been sleep. So sleep is something that, you always hear people talk about, but it plays a major factor in competition and prepping for a sport and playing a sport and lifting and doing anything athletic. Sleep is a huge factor in that. And you should be getting at least 8 hours of sleep. If you're doing, two, three workouts a day, you're going to be needing a little bit more. I'd say around 9 to 10 hours. You know, uh, peak, peak amateur me. I was going a little hard in the paint there. I'd be sleeping for like 11 hours. You don't need that much. Honestly, that's probably a little, gonna hurt you in the long run, but make sure you're getting some good sleep. Sleep's gonna regulate your hormones. Sleep's gonna make you feel good. Sleep's gonna recover you. Sleep's gonna make you feel like you can actually, achieve the task that you need to get done for the day. So, sleep is a big thing. Let's, if you're really looking to optimize your athletic performance, sleep is something that cannot really be overlooked. Moving on from that, um, another thing that has really helped me is having a strength and conditioning program. So I know in like, in school sports and, maybe even sports outside, you guys think that training and doing whatever your practices and stuff are going to be enough. But if you are not consistently lifting or consistently, doing cardio exercises, it's not going to be enough to perform at the highest level because there are guys that are doing that. You're not going to be able to beat them. As a team, if you're playing team sports, your team is going to kind of suffer from that. And then if you're it's individual like a combat sport such as myself, if the other guy's doing that and you're not, you're going to have a extremely extremely disadvantaged position because in something like MMA, often skill levels are very similar, and if the skill levels are pretty much the same, the thing that's going to help is having extra strength, extra cardio over your opponent, things like that. So, I recommend if we're prepping for a competition and MMA, it's called a fight camp for me. If I'm in fight camp, I have a competition on the horizon. I'm lifting minimum of twice a week. A little bit more than that might be a little detrimental to the overall, your overall physical well-being because you are prepping for a competition. That is what you mainly want to be doing. But if like I'm prepping for that, my split is going to be an upper body day and a lower body day. Upper body day, I hit my chest, back, triceps, shoulders, You know, everything on my upper body and lower body, just my entire legs, my glutes, everything like that, you know. And then cardio wise, I highly recommend assault bike sprints. That's something that I wish I had started doing at a young age. Those will get you so right in your cardio. You'll feel like you pretty much have a third lung. Um, I'm 23 years old. I wish I had known about those when I was like 14, but yeah, assault bike sprints are great. Even just regular runs are fantastic for you. Just make sure you're doing something that's kind of setting you apart from everybody else, right? If we're just doing what everybody else is doing, then it kind of just falls back on, skill instead of your like actual athletic potential. And that's something that's going to help you improve as an athlete very fast is if we can kind of separate that gap, if we can kind of separate from everybody else with improved, physical health. Third thing is going to be diet. Diet's a huge thing. This is something that a lot of people struggle with, myself included. If I'm just eating freaking Canes and Taco Bell, Mickey D's all day, I am not going to perform well at all, right? Especially if I have a competition. But even just normal training, your body needs good fuel to perform well. So, eat a whole foods diet, have 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Carbs are not your enemy. Eat a lot of carbs. Carbs are going to be your quick, fast energy that's going to help you, kind of get right into it for training. It's going to help you not feel, MMA terms, gassed out. You're not going to feel lazy. You're not going to feel exhausted. Carbs will help you feel good. And then lastly, make sure you're getting a good amount of fats, at least 80 grams a day of fats. Fats are going to regulate your hormones. If you're a man such as myself, that's your testosterone, all that, so just make sure you're getting good fats. Um, Moving on from your diet, let's go to like a little mental thing. So things that have helped me mentally has been kind of mindset shifts, right? So my coach in high school, he was a little extreme with it. You do not need to be this extreme by any means, especially if you're freaking, oh no, not the radio. Sorry, y'all, I'm playing this live. Especially if you're playing something like, I guess, like soccer, like you're playing a big team sport. This is mainly for individual, but it can be applied in a similar way for team sports. But it's that you should be almost embarrassed or I guess, hurt that whoever you're competing against actually shows up to the day that you're supposed to compete against them, right? I know it sounds goofy, it sounds stupid, but it's like I guess like going into my example here, I'm an MMA fighter. I honestly I feel a little embarrassed that somebody actually shows up to fight me because that means that they think that they can win, right? They think that they can beat me. They think all these things, right? So that's something that helped me athletically, that helped me um kind of have a mindset set shift to, this is a competition at the end of the day. I'm trying to beat you, and in something as extreme as combat sports, you're trying to hurt me, right? So I take offense to that now. Going back to mindset again, the biggest thing is for me, I think, besides that mindset shift, is visualization. Now, this is something that you hear a lot of people talk about. You hear a lot of the greats talk about it. Visualization is something that I cannot explain enough about how great it is. Visualization, I have a very good example for this that actually happened to me. I didn't believe in it for the longest time. I thought it was like a load of hooey, right? A load of horseradish, as SpongeBob SquarePants would say. But um, when I was a 3-1 amateur, my opponent pulled out 3 days before the fight, and he was somebody that I was very comfortable competing against. Most likely was going to beat him. It shifted into a very well-renowned jiu-jitsu black belt who owned his own gym. I was 20 at the time. He was 26 or 27, so this is a grown man, right? And he's got way better accolades than me. But, Mama didn't raise a bitch, so I'm still gonna fight him, even on short notice, whatever, right? And I remember the day that I found that out, I saw that there was a tattoo voucher that they're giving away. And for those of you who don't know, you cannot be paid as an amateur MMA fighter, but I could get this tattoo voucher. I wanted this tattoo voucher more than anything, right? So I remember that night, I went and locked myself in my room, and I visualized. everything for the fight. So I visualized every scenario that I could possibly be in and me winning by either KO or TKO. So knockout or technical knockout. And I remembered at the end of it, I visualized myself getting my hand raised with the ref. I visualized the exact ref. I visualized the the hand that was getting raised, everything, my celebration, all that. And I also visualized me getting handed that tattoo voucher by a certain person. And so the fight comes around, fight starts off. I end up throwing some leather, slinging some hands, and then I get my back taken for an entire round. That's absolutely the worst case scenario. Remember, the bell rings, I get back up, I run back to my corner, and I'm sitting in the corner. I'm like, I can win this fight. I keep telling my coach, I'm gonna win this fight. And next round starts, I get caught with a monster right hand that rocks me. My vision's kind of doubled. First time I've been rocked, was low key panicking, but as fate would have it, he threw a high kick. He slipped on it and fell on the ground, kind of slipping on a banana peel situation. Had some time to recover. He gets back up to his feet. We start throwing down again. I start catching him, rock him, hit him with the knee to the body. He drops. I get behind him, and I end up TKOing him, right? Now, this is something I had visualized that TKO. I screamed, I stand up, I'm excited I won. I had forgotten about the tattoo voucher at this point. I go to get my hand raised in the middle, and lo and behold, as soon as I get my hand raised, tattoo voucher's coming at me, right? It's being handed me by the exact person I visualized. The rep is the exact same. Everything is the exact same as I had imagined it. So that was my big example, that my big like kind of like I guess eureka moment that hey, this visualization stuff, it works. Your body knows if you're telling it, like if you're telling your body that you're gonna do something, it's gonna do it, right? If I tell my body to walk right now, I can walk. So we should be doing the same for competitions. If I'm telling my body to win, my chances of winning are going way up because I'm making sure that happens. So if I visualize these things, the universe has a great way of working these things out. I'm a religious man, so I believe that God is working these things out. But visualization is a very good thing. Visualization is something that I wish I had also known about when I was a younger athlete. That is something that is a game changer. It will help you improve. It will help you, just in all aspects of your athletic career. So visualize things, believe that you can win. And by believing it, we can visualize it. When we visualize it, we can make it happen, right? So let's really focus on these things. Um, going on things that have kind of hurt me here. Believing that you're too good to lose. So this kind of like almost contradicts everything I'm saying. You should have great self-belief, but if we're believing that we can't lose no matter what, so we're not putting the work in to actually, win and perform, that is something that is going to hurt us in the long run. So I did this a few times for my fight, but I've only lost one fight in MMA, and it was when I believed I was too good to lose, so I didn't put any work in, I didn't train, nothing, right? So, yeah, I ended up losing that, and I never made that mistake again. This kind of brings us right into the next point. Sorry, y'all, I'm a coach, so doing this all let's and all this is kind of just coaching language too. But, um, um, so when we lose, we should not be caught up on our losses. I lost that fight and I came back stronger than ever. But that was with a strong mindset that, hey, I lost. Let's make sure this never happens again. What went wrong in this fight? What could I have done more of in my performance? What could I have done more of in my preparation? So I learned from that, right? Like it's the classic cliche trope of you learn you either win or you learn, right? But we cannot learn unless we're making a conscious effort to learn from that. So putting the ego aside, realizing what we did wrong, realizing what we could have done more of, all that, that is something that is going to help you so much in the long run. When you're starting off in a sport, you're not going to be the best. You're just not. Nobody is unless you're John Jones, right? But if you lose, take that as an opportunity. Hey, I can get better in this area. I had fun doing this. This worked. This didn't. And let's just take these moments into account. And I promise you, as time goes on, if you're truly learning from these losses, you are bound to win. You are going to win. So, yeah, that's a huge thing right there. Learning from these losses, learning from the L's, taking away what was good and what wasn't. Now, going on to some more like almost niche bad things, but things that I feel like should be talked about regardless, is drinking. Don't be a consistent drinker. If your goal is athletic performance, whether that's lifting, whether that's playing these sports, whether it's combat sports, whether that's even just, physical fitness and well-being, drinking consistently is something that is going to ruin all these things. It's going to ruin your sleep, it's going to ruin your diet, it's going to ruin everything. You're not going to feel good. You're not going to be able to perform at your best the day after. You're going to be sluggish. You're going to be slow. It's almost a day wasted, right? So maybe like only drink once a month. I drank all throughout high school. I can't lie to y'all. You're not supposed to, but hey, I did it anyways. And that was something that took a huge toll on my wrestling career where I truly believe that I would have been better if I didn't do that, right? Now, this also brings me into my second point, vaping and smoking cigarettes, right? Nicotine is something that got me when I was very young. I was 14 when I started vaping, didn't quit until I was almost 18, right? Um, I got caught in the great vape epidemic of 2016, 2017. So, yeah, vaping is something that's going to destroy your cardio. It's going to destroy your lungs. It's going to take a toll on your health. If you're going to use nicotine, use something that is not going to have a toll on your athletic career, something such as Zins or Dip. Those are things that are still going to have effect, but they're going to be very minimal compared to inhaling a product like that, inhaling these Chinese chemicals. Stay away from it. I promise you it's not worth it. And I promise you it's easier to quit than you think. Just get past the next 3 days and you'll be good, you know? So yeah, stay away from those things. Those things are things that will have no benefit to you as a person, first off, or as an athlete, especially as an athlete. So stay away from them. I promise you'll feel a lot better. Um, Other things are like overtraining. So if you're ever feeling like, hey, I need a day off, voice that concern to your coach or voice that with yourself. I know a lot of us like after we train so much, we have our habit going and we don't feel normal if we don't. But you need that rest day for your body to recover. You need that rest day for your mind to recover. On those rest days, go find something that you enjoy doing, take some time off, go have fun. Whatever. I like gaming, so like I'm gaming right now while I talk to you guys. Go game, go do whatever, hang out with some friends. If you have a girlfriend or whatever, go hang out with them. Find something that you enjoy to do on those days. Don't waste them by just laying in bed trying to recharge. Have an active recovery day. Your body will recover better if you're moving around during these recoveries. So, like, go for a walk, have fun, do whatever. But if you need that day, voice those concerns to whoever you need to voice them to and take that day. And if they won't let you, hey, you're sick the next day, right? Take a sick day. Do whatever you need to do. But just don't let your body be overtrained for too long. That's going to lead to injuries. I would know I tore my knees in high school. I tore my shoulders. I broke things, those are things that are also going to put you out even longer than if you're just taking that day, taking those 2 days, taking that week, whatever it is. Take the time for yourself, for your mental health, for your physical health. Take that time and just, don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. That's kind of also like just part of growing up is just being able to voice what you need, being able to kind of feel how your body feels. Like, hey, my body's not feeling too good today. I'm gonna take a day. That's not terrible. It becomes an issue when we're doing it all the time, but you know, you're gonna come back even better when you take those breaks. And then what else? Competition mindsets. A lot of people kind of let the anxiety, I guess, and nerves of competition get to them. That is something that I've really had to deal with, but we can kind of calm those nerves in the preparation that we do for that competition. So, like for me as an MMA fighter, it's knowing that I did everything I could during my training camp to beat this guy that I'm fighting, right? For me, it feels like a life or death scenario, but I'm still able to calm my nerves to a somewhat, you know, level where I'm able to perform because I've done the preparation, because I've put the reps in, because I put the time in, the work in, you know. For me, I'm religious, so because I've prayed, because I've gone to church, because I've taken those rest days. So doing all the right things, just knowing that we're in a spot where we can, perform well will help calm those nerves. And the nerves are never going to be completely gone, but the nerves are good too. The nerves is going to prep your body to perform at your competition, whatever that is. Like I said, it does not have to be combat sports. I remember I used to play football back in middle school. I was terrible at it, but I would be so nervous beforehand, right? So anything you're nervous in, take that with a grain of salt and realize that, hey, this is your body preparing yourself for what you have to do. And for me, it's a, pretty much feels like a fight to the death. So for me, it's a fight to the death. My body's prepping me for that, right? So let's just take these things as they come, be in the moment, be present minded. Some I got some big tips, I'm gonna get into those in the future when I talk about things outside of my athletic performance. But I wanted this first video to be something talking about things that I wish I had done, things that I wish I hadn't done. I think these will be a big benefit. And there's more that goes into it, but this was kind of just a quick little video to kind of get first on the channel. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to see anything else in the future, if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments, whatever. Let me know how it is. But yeah, peace.